Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to number 24 of the Whatnauts Reactor Corps. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined, as always, by Melissa Wilkinson.
Yep, as usual.
Melissa, how are you doing this fine evening?
Doing good. Just ate some cake. Quality day.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, let's get right to it. We are starting our reactions to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We'll be here each week for the next 6 weeks, I guess, since there's six episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We'll be here 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. Twitch.tv/The Whatnauts is where you can find us. We already have Sam, who's here in the chat and says, "I don't know why I'm here. I didn't watch the thing."
Sam's missing a lot of context here.
Indeed. We love you, Sam.
Thank you.
So yeah, I do want to preface this and say that we also did reactions to WandaVision. We did them in 2 parts. This one, I think, like I mentioned, we will do for every episode individually to keep these short and sweet. Melissa, we've watched episode 1 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What did you think?
I liked it. I expect me to like all of these. Spoiler alert. I'm easy to please. Big Marvel fan over here. This felt very different than WandaVision. Felt a little different than every time we've seen these characters in the movies. The show definitely, even in the 45 minutes we got to see so far, it's definitely set up its own vibe. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. I think this was a very strong start to this show. I think I liked it better than the first 2 episodes of WandaVision. But not that I didn't like WandaVision. I loved WandaVision. But this is such a like Kyle show. That it's just like, this is nailing all the right things for me. Yes, please.
You love fishing boats so much. You tell me every week.
Fishing. No, I don't like fish. But yeah, I thought this was a really, really, really strong start to a show that it is still what we got, but I think I maybe set my expectations a little lower because I was like, oh, well, this is just going to be like standard MCU. Like, we know this stuff, right? Like, it's going to be action and they punch things and stuff. And that is what we got. But I don't know why, like, this was better than I was expecting. I was just like, oh, I wasn't expecting it to be like this interesting, and this like almost made me cry in episode 1.
Yeah, it's the caliber of action is very high, and it does a lot for the characters emotionally. As much as it's fast paced, sometimes it really knows when to slow down and when to really dig into these characters. We're getting to know these old friends much better, and we're meeting some interesting new people.
Indeed. Did you have like a favorite character of the new people that we've met so far?
I have no idea how other people are reacting to this, but I love that this show is taking this opportunity in a television show format to slow down and like, we're going to go meet Sam's family and talk about their fishing business. It's such a normal, down-to-earth problem. We don't have enough money to keep the family fishing business afloat. Haha. How do we get a loan?
Yeah. I heard her name is Sarah Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, she owns the family fishing business down in Louisiana. I was going to say her, too. She, I think, by far has been my new favorite so far. And yeah, I really like to, because like Sam was someone who throughout all of the movies was kind of by himself, right? Like he didn't really, I mean, besides being Cap's sidekick, like we didn't see him interacting. Well, that's not the right words.
We don't get a lot of his life.
Family or friends outside of the Avengers.
Yeah. The only things that we had gotten information about was his military career prior to where we meet him in Winter Soldier. Yeah, we didn't get much about his family, his social history, any other important relationships in his life. And I liked getting to slow down and look at this. I like that we've got this very run-of-the-mill, simple but not uninteresting family drama playing out amongst these larger tales of superheroism and espionage.
Yeah, indeed. I think what I liked about that is it really, like, the scenes when he's driving to Louisiana or to meet his family, it just, like, that's part of America. Like, that is the like Americana stuff that I expect to see in a down to earth Captain America story. And so it was really interesting to get to see that in this show, which again, we haven't really got to see that in the movies. So I really enjoyed that. And I think on the flip side, getting to see the kind of aftermath and just mental stress or PTSD, if you will, that Winter Soldier is going through, that good old emo boy Bucky is going through. It's a lot, and that's something that we're I think starting to deal with in these shows. Just like WandaVision dealt with grief, I think Bucky is going through that in his own way, right? And it's good to see that stuff. Personally, I just finished watching Steven Universe Future, which is like the second show after Steven Universe. It's the sequel, but it's kind of a different take on a sequel. It's more an epilogue. It's not their next big grand adventure. It's just checking in on, like, hey, it's now a couple years down the road. How is everyone? And it focuses a lot on, like, the mental health of these characters, of, like, you went through space travel and people dying and being resurrected and these big fight. Like, how does that affect someone? And I love that about this show here.
Yeah, and that's something that's been in the MCU's history. You think back to Iron Man 3, that's entirely about Tony's mental state after what he went through in the Avengers. Yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, like that, I enjoy when the MCU slows down to do stuff like that. It makes their characters so much more fascinating. And we get to see the complex relationships and emotions and thoughts that they have, because they do the scene where they're kind of going through this, like, 3-step plan of, like, how to reconcile with all of these people, and then it's switching scenes between, like, what he's saying versus what he actually did. And it's like, he says he followed the rules. Maybe technically he did, but he also is, like, getting not revenge, but is making amends in his own way, right? Yeah.
So that was interesting and fascinating to see that. Okay, he's still doing work, right? He's still putting these, like, corrupt politicians and stuff in prison or something like that to make up for all the bad things that he did. All of these people that he gave power to through all of his assassinations, he's now being like, well, maybe I should fix that, actually. Yeah,
at least giving him a good spook and letting him know I'm not that person anymore. I'm trying to make up for the things I've done in my past. Maybe think about that. Maybe think about doing that yourself and know that you can't count on me as some weird dark crime ally anymore. Just trying to be a nice man with a haircut.
Yeah. Indeed. Cool. So Oh, so we haven't yet seen Falcon and Winter Soldier meet up yet.
That was an interesting turn.
They're on their own stories, right? How do you think they are going to come together somehow?
I really hope Bucky just answers one of Sam's texts. I like that Sam's been trying to reach out to him. Like think about his background as a counselor to other veterans. I think Sam seems like in that little group of the Avengers, like it's somebody who really tries to hold the other people together. Like, I know that these narratives are kind of separate, but I imagine he would have reached out to Wanda and been like, hey, are you okay after what happened to Vision? Right. I feel like he should have been there. It would have been a lot of stories to put together, but character wise, I'm like, Sam would have been looking after her. Sam would have done something.
Which I think they mentioned that this is taking place a few months after the snap, which puts it maybe 2 or 3 months or so, I think, after the events of WandaVision.
Yeah,
and this is slightly before Spider-Man.
Yes,
far from home. But we're starting to see where everything fits and stuff like that, which I like. But yeah, I think he definitely would have been the one to be like, hey, are you okay? Like things got kind of crazy there. Magic, huh? Whoa, tell me about it. You know?
One of my favorite moments in this episode is when they're in Tunisia, I think, when it's him and Torres just sitting down at that little cafe, and that couple comes up to him and says thank you, and he thanks them in Arabic, which is something he may know, from his military history. But I like that Sam's really kind of a man of the people in the little opportunities that he has to do that. Like, he's very graceful with them, and like that banker didn't turn out to be very nice, but Sam, that initial interaction where he's like, do I know you? And Sam's like, I don't know, maybe. And the guy's like, I swear I know you. And he does like the wing thing. And he's like, I didn't want to say it. And it comes across like playful, like he's trying to act up a little bit because that person is exciting to see him as a hero. Yeah. And you can tell his own ego isn't attached to it. He only plays it up so that the other people who encounter him have fun with it.
Yeah. So I think, because kind of the big, the big twist of this whole thing is that Bucky, Sam, who was given the shield from Captain America from old Cap, who we don't know where he is, by the way. That's
maybe on the moon.
Yeah, might be on the moon, up there with what's his name from Umbrella Academy.
I thought about that too.
Right. We don't know where he is, but he gave Sam the shield, being like, hey, you're going to be the next Captain America. And Sam was like, I don't know, doesn't really feel like me. Seems like this belongs to someone else. And so he takes the route where he's like, yeah, this isn't me. I'm just going to donate this to a museum. This was someone else's symbol and legacy. That's not me. And then at the end of this, we get the reveal that the government has now made their own Captain America, and they've given him the shield that Sam donated. And that does not sit well with Sam. He is just like, ooh, that's a little disrespectful. Like, I don't know who this guy is. This is So, yeah, he's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about this right now. So I think that might be maybe the instigating thing that brings Sam and Bucky together. Whenever Bucky sees this on the news, and then he's like, I should maybe talk to Sam. Also, my therapist was like, hey, maybe I should talk to Sam. So maybe the
Sam
world is being like, yes, let me text him back.
They come together over Steve. Yeah, I like that the shield is really not just a symbol of Captain America. It's a symbol of Steve. Captain America was one man. He was a tremendous man. And I think Sam may have some hesitation about stepping up to a larger heroic role, but also it's like that was Steve's thing. He's Sam. He wants to. I can imagine it's not only a story of like upholding a heroic mantle. Will you take the legacy? It's also like,
right, yeah.
No, I don't want to be my friend. I don't want to be exactly him. Maybe we only need one Captain America. Like maybe we don't always get one. And I know that's such a comic book thing that all these new heroes come along and they just take that name. There's been like 6 Robins, but I like that we may have an angle of Sam being like, maybe we do need another hero of that caliber, but now that Captain America's gone, there isn't any more Captain America. Captain America was Steve Rogers. He's not doing this anymore. He may be alive or dead. He may be on Earth or not. Let's let this identity lay to rest, and we'll see who I become with or without a shield.
Yeah, and I think it also goes back to how he's handling the boat with his family. I think it is his parents' legacy, and if he's going to do something with it, he feels like it needs to be worked on and
yes.
you have to earn that position, not be like, hey, this guy, whoever you are, you're the next Captain America. And I don't think he feels like he's earned that role. And then they haven't said the name in the show, but this next guy that they've appointed, I don't feel like he thinks that he has earned this.
Yeah, I'm interested to find out who that man is who's the new Captain America, because you can imagine the government organization that maybe put him behind the shield may have some shady dealings, but we don't know his actual personality. Like, he comes out there and he winks at the audience, which may seem kind of slimy, but ultimately this just may be like some dumb ham of a man who like really has no idea what he's stepped up to. He's just got the athletic prowess, the sort of the Boy Scout attitude, and he's like, sure, yeah, I'll wear the costume, I'll take the shield, yeah, I'm up for it, but he has no idea like what he's stepped into the path of.
So a little bit of kind of insider knowledge and stuff here. That character's name is actually John Walker, who is a high-ranking military member of the and the U.S. government's choice to become the new Captain America. He attempts to join Wilson and Barnes in their fight and believes that he is a better embodiment of American values than Roger was. Blah, 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 blah. He, in his comic book, the comic book version of the character goes by the name U.S. Agent. USA. You guys are smart. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. And then we also got the Flagsmashers.
Yeah.
You guys, what do you guys? Yeah. What do you guys think of the Flagsmashers?
What do you think?
Let us know in the comments down below. But Melissa, what do you think of the Flagsmashers so far?
It seems like the natural progression of what has happened. I think their angle is interesting, that during the period, during the blip, during this 5-year period where a lot of governments were decimated and like trying to bring themselves back up again, there was perhaps less control. And these people are thinking maybe that was better. Maybe we don't need so much oversight. Maybe a more laissez-faire world is the one that will work best for us.
Yeah. That makes sense. I enjoyed what they showed us so far. It's very mysterious.
Yes.
We don't really know how they work or how they operate. They successfully robbed this bank, and the leader, at least one of them, seems to be super powered in some way, which we're dealing with the legacy of Captain America here in this show. So maybe this is someone who was experimented on in a similar manner and has some form of the super soldier serum. We know from past movies that other people have gotten the super soldier serum in the past. It didn't really all work out for them. And stuff like that. So this might be the continuation of that. And I think there's more like Hulk related moments where Thunderbolt Ross was trying to do some stuff with the super soldier serum there, something.
Yeah.
So they're up to no good, that's for sure. But did you happen to catch any kind of Easter eggs or things that caught your eye? That's like, I wonder what they're up to with that.
I don't have the ability to do that on my own very easily. I just know the sources to go to tell me what the Easter eggs were. I mean, there's allusions that I get. Like, I like Bucky's little notebook of people he has to make amends to, mirroring Steve's notebook of the things he has to catch up on now that he's in the future. Like, not just that it is a notebook, like, it's a very similar model of notebook, too. That's nice. They think the same way.
Target and bought the same notebook.
Right, yeah. Both big Moleskine fans.
Touched as they both grabbed the same book. Right?
It's you. No, I don't think I noticed anything unique to me. I mean, these end credits are very cool looking. I like them a lot. I like how much excitement this brings into the home theater. Getting these theatrical releases at home, like your Wonder Woman 1984, you look at it and you're happy to watch it in the home, but you're also thinking, I bet this would have been fun to see on a movie screen. It's nice to see that same level of action put into this TV show that you could not have seen on the movie screen. So you're like not missing out on some other layer. That being said, I would have loved to see these end credits blown up very big. Maybe I'll just put this on my dad's bigger TV than mine and get that same effect. Detail packed. Yeah, I dug them a lot.
Indeed. I'll loop back around to the credits in just a bit. I liked that we got to see Batroc the Leaper, who was on the Lumerian Star back in Winter Soldier. That was nice to see him. I was just like, oh, it's him. It's Batroc. He's back. And I also really enjoyed the inclusion of Sam of James Rhodes.
Yes, Rhodey.
Yeah, he was a good cameo. That was wonderful. But man, those credits. There's a lot of stuff in there that I think people are going to dig into and look back at and be like, oh, they were saying it the whole time, or this or that. I did happen to watch the new Rockstars, things you may have missed, which I thought brought up one good thing that I will mention here, and this is the Power Broker. Now,
I was not familiar with this person.
I'm not familiar with him.
Oh.
At all. I don't really know who he is. I've barely read Captain America stuff, so I'm not super familiar with his whole cast of characters and things like that. But the thing that I think got off track with WandaVision is that they had this big central mystery of what's really going on here, and everyone went wild on speculating. Yeah. We were like, oh, it's going to be this guy, it's going to be that guy, it's going to be Mephisto, and I think that was the big one that they're like, it's going to be Mephisto, the devil.
Yeah.
Right? And so I don't want to get too deep as deep as we got into all those conspiracies of like, oh, this is what I think they're, all those theories and stuff. But the difference here is that they name him in the credits. They never named Mephisto. Wasn't mentioned. The name wasn't written.
Well, it was written down very small on a file in the Avengers, but yes.
Yeah, but this was a prominent thing in the credits, that Power Broker is watching. And now with these new super-powered people, that could be an interesting thing, that maybe there is someone who is selling powers or has figured out his own super soldier serum and is auctioning it off on the black market or something like that. So I think that might be something to keep an eye on. But I don't know how much that will factor in.
It's a cool villain name. It's contemporary. It's slick. I can see them going with it. One cool detail that was pointed out in the new Rockstars video that stood out to me is that in the Cap Museum, they've got a little panel of information about Thanos' attack. And this exhibit describes him as the Mad Titan, which is the nickname for Thanos. But they spell it Titan with a capital T, which is the planet he's from, correct?
He also was on that. But that is his name, the Mad Titan. So.
And I understand why metatextually that was put in there, but to think about the actual character of whoever this researcher is at the Smithsonian designing this exhibit, they're like, okay, what planet was that? We all know he was from space, but what planet was he from? I want to get the exact name of that in this exhibit.
Here's what happened. Someone on Twitter in the MCU did that, and it caught on. It went viral, and that's just what everyone started calling him.
That's his newspaper headline.
Happened.
J. Jonah Jameson made up that name for him.
Right? Yeah. The Mad Titan strikes again.
I could see him being called
Spider-Man.
the Mad Titan, lowercase t, the general noun. But the fact that he's called the Mad Titan, capital T, we'll identify him as a member of that planet we've just now heard about. I thought was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could take it as their way of being I'm an Earthling. He is a Titan.
Right. People are going to learn to think about themselves like that. Oh, I should,
Interesting. Strange.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just thinking about after space was cracked open, how has NASA changed? Is NASA now oh man, we were working on trying to get to Mars. Now do we have to figure out how to get to wherever that was? We know about a dozen new planets. How do we get there? Are we responsible for getting there? We haven't even done Mars yet, guys.
Right. But apparently someone's living on the moon. So who knows about that? Anyways, last thing before we go, this is maybe something more to think about. We also haven't seen Baron Zemo yet, but he was one of the names on Bucky's list. There, we know he's in the show. We know he now has his mask and stuff, which looks great, by the way. But yeah, haven't seen Baron Zemo yet. Interesting.
Haven't seen Sharon Carter yet either. I don't know how we're going to end up in Madripoor. We've got a couple items that we know we are getting to, and I'm intrigued to find out what the roadmap is to get there.
I am too. I think this is going to be a really, really good show. This is going to be fantastic. Melissa, do you have final thoughts?
Good. Like it. Interesting balance of things. I like how it's shot. Good cinematography in this too.
I agree. Well, with that, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities, about weird old children's entertainment.
You guys can find me at Kyle Springer on Twitter. If you guys want to stay up to date with all of our shows, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. So go like, share, subscribe. And yes, you heard me right. We have multiple podcasts here at the Whatnauts. You guys can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com. And if you like what we do, patreon.com/the Whatnauts is where you can support us for as little as $1 a month. You can also subscribe to us here on Twitch. We would absolutely love that. And if you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. It's super simple to link your accounts, and then you get a free subscription to give away each month, and we'd love that to be us. It's at no extra cost to you, and it gives us some money so we can make bigger and better things. But yeah, that's all the housekeeping for that. We will be back next week with our reactions to episode 2. So stick around. We will see you then. Bye.
Bye.